Paradiso, translated by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Canto primo. The glory of him who moves everything doth penetrate the universe and shine in one part more and in another less. Within that heaven which most his light receives was I, and things beheld which to repeat nor knows nor can, who from above descends, because in drawing near to its desire our intellect engulfs itself so far that after it the memory cannot go. Truly, whatever of the holy realm I had the power to treasure in my mind shall now become the subject of my song. O good Apollo, for this last emprise, make of me such a vessel of thy power as giving the beloved laurel asks. One summit of Parnassus hitherto has been enough for me, but now with both thy needs must enter the arena left. Enter into my bosom, though I breathe, as at the same time when Marsyas, thou didst draw out of the scabbard of those limbs of his. O power divine, lettest thou thyself to me, so that the shadow of the blessed realm stamped in my brain I can make manifest. Thou see me come unto thy darling tree, and crown myself thereafter with those leaves of which the theme and hue shall make me worthy. Seldom, Father, do we gather them for triumph, or of Caesar or of poet, the fault and shame of human inclinations, that the Penaean foliage should bring forth joy to the joyous Delphic deity, when any one it makes to thirst for it. A little spark is followed by a great flame. Perchance with better voices after me shall prayer be made, that Sita may respond. To mortal men by passages diverse uprises the world's lamp, but by that one which circles for unity with three crosses, with better curse and with a better star conjoined, which the mundane wax tempers and stamps more after its own fashion. Almost that passage hath made morning there, meeting here, and there were only two ways that shared, but I stayed apart. When batteries towards the left-hand side, I so turned round and gazing at the sun. Never did eagle thrust me so funny. Anything for the second phrase want to issue from the press like to a pilgrim who would fain return, thus of her action, through the eyes infused in my imagination, mine I made, and sunward fixed mine eyes beyond our want. There much is lawful which were unlawful unto our powers by virtue of the place made for the human species as its own. Not long I bore it, nor so little while, but I beheld it sparkle round about like iron that comes molten from the fire, and suddenly it seemed that day to day was added, as if he who has the power had with another sun the heaven at it. With eyes upon the everlasting wheels stood Beatrice so intent, and I on her fixing my vision from above removed, such as at her aspect inwardly became as Glaucus tasting of the herb that made him pair of the other gods beneath the sea. To represent transhuman eyes in words impossible were. The example then suffices him from whom grace experience reserves. If I was merely what of me thou newly createst, love who governest heaven, thou knowest, who didst lift me with thy light. When now the will which thou dost make eternal, desiring thee, made me attentive to it, by harmony thou dost modulate and measure, then seemed to me so much of heaven enkindled by the sun's flame, that neither rain nor river ever made a lake so widely spread abroad. The newness of the sound and the great light kindled in me a longing for their cause, never before with such acuteness felt. When she, who saw me as I saw myself, the quiet in me my perturbed mind, opened her mouth, ere I did mine to ask, and she began, "Thou makest thyself so dull, with false imagining, with false imagining, that thou seest not what thou wouldst see if thou hadst shaken it off. Thou art not upon earth, as thou believest, but lighting, fleeing its appropriate sight, never runnest thou who thitherward returnest. If of my former doubt I was divested by these brief little words, more smiled than spoken, and more smiled than spoken little words in a new one was the more ensnared, and said, "Already did I pretend from great amazement, but am now amazed in what way I transcend this body's light." Whereupon she, after a pitying sigh, her eyes directed towards me with that look a mother cast on her dearest child, and she began, "Always, whatever they be, have wager among themselves, and this is form that makes the universe resemble God. Yet do the higher creatures see the footprints of the eternal power, which is the end, where there is made a law already mentioned. In the other that I speak of are inclined all natures, by their destinies diverse, more or less near unto their origin. Hence they move onward unto ports diverse over the great sea of being, and each one with instinct given it which bears it on. This bears away towards the moon. This is in mortal hearts. The motive power is binds together and unites the earth. Nor only the created things that are without intelligence this bow shoots forth, but those that have both intellect and love. The providence that regulates all this makes with its light the heaven forever quiet, wherein that turns which has the greatest haste, and thither now, as to a cider creed, bears us away the virtue of that cord which aims its arrows at a joyous mark. True is it that as oftentimes a form accords not with the intention of the art, because in answering is matter deaf, so likewise from this curse doth deviate sometimes a creature who the power possesses, though thus impelled to swerve some other way, in the same wise as one may see the fire fall from a cloud, if the first impetus earthward is wrested by some false delight. Thou shouldst not wonder more, if well I judge, at thine ascent, than at a rivulet from some high mount descending to the low land. Marvel it would be in thee, if deprived of hindrance thou wert seated down below, as if on earth the living fire were quiet. There she have an word turned again her face.